from 1st January 2019, Tabung Haji will be administratively under Bank Negara Malaysia. Again, there are some questions why you put Tabung Haji under Bank Negara Malaysia, right? Okay, before we do that, first and foremost, let me clarify that Bank Negara actually is governed by their own act. Yeah? They have their own act, just like Tabung Haji. It is not under the MOF as widely perceived. It is not under the Ministry of Finance as widely perceived, right? But it is governed by the, they have their own Bank Negara Act. So, as I mentioned earlier, that Bank Negara's supervision on Tabung Haji is specifically on the deposit-taking activities only, right? As far as the Hajj operation is concerned, of course, they will not touch. It is not their forte anyway. It is left particularly with the board as well as the minister in charge of Tabung Haji. They only survive on the deposit-taking activities. So these are the areas that they may cover. Number one, they will look at Tabung Haji's corporate governance, okay, including fit and proper assessment test. Meaning that once we under Bank Negara, whoever want to become the CEO of Tabung Haji or the board member of Tabung Haji will have to go to Bank Negara for evaluation first. They will check the fit and proper, right? I'm from a bank. One thing I can share from you, I was from Bank Islam before that. In the fit and proper test, if you are basically a politician, you cannot sit on the board of the bank, right? That's what the criteria that they use, right? So to me, this is something very, very positive. I think the depositor should welcome this move. Because basically now at least you have another eye and ear to look at your deposit. You just imagine, we have 9.2 million depositors, a total deposit of 74 million, and it was not supervised by any authorities. It is up to the board of directors, up to the minister in charge basically to take care of the deposit. So now we have one more level up now, that Bank Negara is still looking at that, which is something positive. Number two, Bank Negara for certain will be looking at our risk management and internal control policy that we put there, whether it is robust enough for us to take on this kind of business. Again, this is something that Bank Negara is doing to all the banks, and I'm sure we will have the benefit of the expertise that Bank Negara has. The third thing that Bank Negara will focus on will be on the liquidity management in line with Tabung Haji's risk appetite. Okay. So these are mainly the areas basically we cover and they will supervise on. Okay. Then, of course, the board also have our own responsibility. We just collect the authority, but the board also must have own responsibility. So moving forward, the board will focus on the following. Number one is stronger governance practice in line with the recommendation made by Bank Negara. So Bank Negara can recommend. It is for the board and management to implement whatever the recommendation made by Bank Negara. And I can say for sure that the new board is very, very committed on making that a strong governing practice is in place. Number two, the other focus, new board will look at the prudent investment policy, right? Right. So we want to make sure that going forward, investment that we make are thoroughly so-called evaluated, with proper risk management actually being in place, so that we don't make much mistake. Right? I think in the past, yes, Tabung Haji make a few so-called bad investment decisions. So we want to make sure that going forward we'll be more prudent when it comes to the investment policy. And thirdly will be the robust asset allocation strategy. For example, today, if you ask me personally, Tabung Haji is overexposed to equity market. As indication, if you look at our balance sheet, 2016, 55% of our assets are actually in equities, which is very volatile, right? Which to me, I don't think it is something, I would say, a wise thing to do. And for 2017, our exposure in equity is about 50%, right? So to me, it's still very high, given that we are not a fund manager. You know? We are basically a deposit taker. Our role basically more on Hajj operation, right? And of course, the new board will be looking at the Hajj operation with the view of actually how to cut costs, right? Because Hajj operation basically is our bread and butter. We'll never forget that is the top priority in Malaysia, and we will continue to be the role model for other countries to follow as far as Hajj operation is concerned. We are now just like IKEA or Volvo to Sweden. So Tabung Haji, as far Hajj operation is concerned, is the icon of the world.